afternoon, and thanks everyone for coming today. I'm Gwendolyn Stansbury, Director of IFPRI's Communications and Knowledge Management Division, and I'd like to welcome all of you to today's launch of our third edition of our flagship Global Food Policy Report, which is a research-based, peer-reviewed publication that examines major food policy issues, developments, and decisions of the past year and offers insights for the coming year. Chapters 1 and 2 take a broad look at global development discussions as we find ourselves at this crossroads between rapidly approaching deadline for MDGs and also working toward setting the post-2015 development agenda. The remaining chapters focus on specific themes and developments that came to the fore in 2013, including India's food security bill, sustainable agricultural intensification, agricultural research and development in Africa, the use of information and communication technologies to improve food security, and the politics of nutrition, as well as key regional developments. We hope the report will inform research and policy agendas for 2014 and beyond, and most importantly, contribute to the improvement of food policy to benefit the world's poorest and hungriest. We are privileged today to have several key speakers here. IFPRI Director General Shenggen Fan will start off the discussion and will be followed by three special guests we are very pleased to welcome. Homi Karas, Senior Fellow and Deputy Director for the Global Economy and Development Program at the Brookings Institution, Asma Latif, Director, Bread for the World Institute, and Jada McKenna, Deputy Coordinator, Feed the Future, and Acting Assistant to the Administrator, Bureau for Food Security, USAID. So with that, I'll start things off by asking Shenggen to come to the podium, and then we'll follow with our speakers. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Gwendolyn. Welcome everybody. I'm so glad to see you here, the third time in a row. For 2013, the global food prices have been very calm and have been very stable, but do not become complacent. Just in February this year, the prices of major cereal crops, maize, soybean, and wheat, have risen more than 10%, which means we will continue to see global food price volatility and spikes. So sometimes it's not levels, it is volatility and spikes that hurt poor people, poor consumers, poor producers, much more than just the food price increase. But trends vary by country and region. Look at this chart. The FAO food index continued to increase and become very calm in 2012, 2013. But the prices of vegetables and fruits in some of the emerging economies, China, India, have risen more than 20% and sometimes even much higher than that during some peak seasons, particularly when they celebrate their festivals. And in Africa, although I do not have any concrete data, reliable data, the prices of fruits and vegetables have also risen. As you know, fruits and vegetables are very nutritious and they are nutrition intense, micronutrient intense. So the poor people, if the poor people cannot afford vegetable and fruits, so their dietary quality, therefore their nutrition, will be compromised. By the way, the FAO data, FAO food price index, does not include prices of vegetables and fruits. So we're pushing FAO to include this high value, high nutritious crops in their food price index. For 2013, nutrition gets a spotlight. So we created a wave to really put nutrition very high in global development agenda. So for example, under UK's leadership, the G8 Nutrition and Growth Summit in London, stakeholders from the private sector, from the governments, NGOs, research institutions committed $4.3 billion to tackle the nutrition, to link nutrition to growth. So $4.3 billion from now to 2020. And the new Alliance of Food Security and Nutrition initiated by US government, so 2013 added 4 more countries. The 2012 it was 6, so 4 more countries: Nigeria, Malawi, Senegal. There's another one. And I was very privileged in Senegal when the G8 conference was launched. So the Prime Minister from Senegal, the Minister of Development from Canada, together they committed several $100 million to tackle food security and nutrition. And obviously the SUN initiative or SUN movement, scaling up nutrition, continued its momentum in 2013. By the end of 2013, 45 countries have signed the SUN movement initiative. Many of these countries are in Africa. So we have seen some sort of momentum. And clearly, we need a new evidence. We don't know where do we invest, how do we invest, how do we tackle the nutrition issue. So the latest NANSET series provided the evidence. And many IFPRI staff sitting here in the room provided that support. I think Maria Rowe, Harold, Lawrence Haddad, Stuart Gillespie, all worked together to provide the evidence in supporting this nutrition movement. Now, post-2015 agenda and SDG gained traction. 2013 was a critical year. So many different stakeholders tried to figure out what should they do after the MDG finished in 2015. We know that the MDG goals have achieved in some countries, in some areas, but the progress has been very mixed. On the other hand, it is so critical for us to engage in the post-2015 agenda to make sure that food and nutrition security remains very high. However, we do not have a coherent narratives on food and nutrition security. We do not have goals, clear targets for nutrition and food security. So we need to work together. We needed to continue to work together in 2014 and probably 2015. Many exciting things have happened at the regional level, at the country level. Investment has been increased. We have been calling to increase investment for some years. So it's happening right now. The CAADP just celebrated its 10 years anniversary. In 2003, when the African governments came together in Maputo, they set a target to allocate 10% of their national budget to support 6% agriculture growth. So 10% of budget. Today, on average, African countries spend about 6%. Well, far away from 10%, but they have made progress. So they have increased their investment by 50%. Then clearly, many good policies have been implemented in Middle East, in Asia, in South Asia. But the story is mixed. We have also seen increased subsidies, increased protection or protectionisms. India has launched its food security bill, one of the largest transfer program. Great, needs to be congratulated. But that program needs to be designed effectively, efficiently, to make sure that poorest poor will benefit from that program. And hunger and undernutrition by 2025, so 2025. So when UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon launched his Zero Hunger Challenge, his ambition is to end hunger in our lifetime. I told him that this is not precise. So lifetime, we don't know how long is a lifetime. Then he said, in our generation, or in one generation, again, one generation could be 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. So we need a precise time framework. So I push for 2025. So precise, ambitious. Why we need to do that? It's not only an ethical problem. We just cannot make people hungry, suffer from malnutrition today. It also has a lot of economic meanings. So investment in reducing hunger and malnutrition has very high economic returns. Every $1 invested in India in reducing malnutrition will have $34 in return. So 1 to 34. In Nigeria, it's 1 to 27. So $1 invested, you will have $27 in return. So we can do it, but the governments and donors must devote sufficient resources and implement appropriate policies. Just to show you how some of the countries have done it. So my own country, China, Vietnam, they used agricultural net strategies in the late 70s, 80s, and that strategy eradicated poverty and hunger by a large margin. For example, in the case of China, the undernourishment was reduced from 20%, more than 20% in 1990 to 10% in 2011, 2012. The stunting rate has been reduced from more than 20% to 10% today. In Brazil, obviously, because of the social protection, zero hunger challenges, they have been reducing both undernourishment and the stunting, child stunting, by a big margin. And some of the countries like Thailand, they combine both social protection as well as growth strategies together. And they're on track in reducing hunger and malnutrition by 2025, probably even before that. We need a comprehensive approach. Sustainable agriculture intensification. So IFPRI recently published a book led by Mark Riswan and his team to look at various technologies, how these technologies can save water, save land, and produce enough food to feed the world. So sometimes it's not just one technology, it's a combination of various technologies. Then we needed to invest, to continue to invest, to introduce new technologies, both in and outside of agriculture. For example, ICT. ICT can transform the whole agriculture sector and the food system. Effective social safety nets. So it's not just production side. Access will be so critical to meet everybody's needs. To move forward, for the post-2015 agenda, we must focus on people. Yes, we needed to protect our environment. We needed to tackle the climate change, no doubt about it. But never forget, people must be the focus. We needed to connect better data, better metrics, to track, monitor our progress, to make sure that we can make somebody accountable. Until we have the good data, good metrics, and it's very difficult to make somebody accountable. Always accountability is so crucial. Country-led strategies. Until countries own these strategies, own these initiatives, we will not be able to reduce hunger and malnutrition. I quote Nelson Mandela's, "It always seems impossible until it is done." Thank you.